Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Now go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds kept their watching over silent flocks by night, well, behold, throughout the heavens there came a holy light, and they were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, tell it over the hills, tell it everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Yeah, Jesus Christ is born. Now the shepherds and the wise men who journeyed from afar, well, they heard the angels singing beneath the Bethlehem star, and they were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Now go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Jesus is born down in a lonely manger. That humble baby lay, sent out for our salvation. That blessed Christmas day, they were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, tell it over the hills, and tell it everywhere. Now go tell it on the mountain, Jesus Christ is born. Oh, Jesus is born. Tell it on the mountain, tell it on the mountain, tell it, yeah, tell it on the mountain, tell it on the mountain, Jesus Christ is born, yeah.
Thank you, Kelly Hunt. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And welcome to Unity Temple on the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony the rewards. I have a few announcements. First of all, Kelly Hunt just did our opening song. She has some of her CDs for the solstice, the winter solstice, available in the lobby if you'd like to find one for your collection. Also, this is the second Sunday of Advent, and the word for the day is peace. I'd like the family that's going to light the candle to please come up. You know, love is the greatest experience we can have on this earth. Harmony is our most natural state, but peace is the thing we desire the greatest. No matter what the situations and circumstances are in our lives, we can manage them and we can move beyond if we can just maintain a sense of peace within us. So I'm going to ask you to, the four of you, to introduce yourself. I'm kind of tethered to this.
Hi, I'm Leslie Kamai. I have been a member of Unity for the last 30 years. This is my husband, Ben, my daughter, Lonnie, and our youngest, Jameson. And we're just happy to be here and happy to be lighting the peace candle.
Thank you. I had the great pleasure of marrying them many years ago. So you can now light the peace candle. Thank you very much. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. We have many exciting things coming up for the Christmas season. December 24th, of course, we'll have our regular Sunday morning Christmas service, but the Christmas Eve candlelight service, December 24th, will start at 6 o'clock. And we invite you all to come. It's a beautiful service. Everybody gets their own candle. It gets lit. We all stand and raise our light to the world. Now, another special announcement I have this morning, and I'm very excited about this, is about the young man that's playing the organ. His name is Henry Danaher. He's director of music of the Church of Christ at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, and he also serves as Dartmouth College organist. He attended Global Montessori here at Unity Temple when he was a child. He has fond memories. He toured the old classrooms yesterday when he was here and found that little red line where kids follow it to their classroom and was amazed that it was still there. Anyway, we're so happy to have him, and he's going to be back in March to do a organ symposium with several other organists in the area. So thank you, Henry, for being here. We truly appreciate it. Also, his entire family is here, but he came to us through Connie Dodson and her husband, Rob, and he is Rob's nephew. And would you stand up? Everybody knows you, but they probably don't know you by name. So we thank you for bringing him here. And we'll now begin the service with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, and the call to inspiration. Anybody hear that? Yeah. Kind of sleepy this morning. Anyway, please join with me in the peace prayer if you choose. Sleepy but persistent. Together, on this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize a oneness with all creation, in harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all in nature. We live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
On this morning, sweet and tender, joyfully we lift our voice. On this morning we remember there is reason to rejoice.
Now, please stand and sing with me our opening hymn, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, accompanied by Henry on the organ.
The herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful, all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. Christ is born in Bethlehem. The heralding the peace, hail the Son of righteousness. And life to all he brings, was the Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow. For all is hushed, the world is sleeping, holy star. Its vigil keeping still, 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 still. One can hear the falling snow. Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. The night is peaceful. All around you, close your eyes. Let sleep surround you. Still, still, still. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. Dream, dream, dream of the joyous day to come. While guardian angels without number watch you. As you sweetly slumber, dream of the joyous day to come.
Thank you, Kelly. Beautiful song. I've never heard the words before. I've heard the melody, but never the words, and they are precious and beautiful, just like you. And my friend Henry, I just want to say how grateful I am that you're here today, because I have not heard the magnificence of this organ since I was a small child. Like you, I grew up in this place, and it just touched my heart this morning to walk in and hear that, so thank you for being here. One single idea can change your life forever. One single idea. It's all it takes. I want to share with you this morning a story. It's actually a story about a story, so I'll start with the story that precedes the story. Is that good? All right. The year was 1938. The place was Chicago, Illinois. And the person was a 34-year-old Jewish fellow by the name of Robert L. May. As a child, Robert, or Bob as he was affectionately referred to, was small and rather sickly and not very inclined to performance standards within his school, athletically and even intellectually to a degree. He was the constant brunt of bullying by his peers, and yet even so, he graduated from Dartmouth. It was very interesting to me when I found out that we had the music director from that institution with us this morning. He graduated from Dartmouth College, and he always had a dream of someday writing the great American novel. He faced, however, at that particular point in his life, one of the greatest recessions in U.S. history. He was able to finally land a job as a copywriter in the advertising department for Montgomery Ward. How many of us in the room this morning can remember Montgomery Ward? It was quite a place back in the day. Kind of went the way, I guess, of a lot of retail empires over time. But still, it was not a well-paying job. He had very little cash, and his wife, Evelyn, had been fighting a battle with cancer for a couple of years, and it didn't look good. So from the realm of all appearances, it appeared that Bob was going to be left to raise his daughter at a very young age. So it wasn't a very good time in Bob's life, Robert's life. Eventually, in July of 1939, Evelyn, his wife, passed away. And he took that experience as an opportunity for him to totally immerse himself more completely in fulfilling an assignment that had been given to him by one of his superiors at Montgomery Ward, and that was to create a story that could be utilized in a coloring book that Montgomery Ward could pass out to all the children that came into the store. And this was important because they knew it was the children that drove the adults into the stores, and that year they actually distributed over 2.5 million copies of a tale called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it was extremely successful for Montgomery Ward, and it turned out in the greater scheme of things, it was extremely successful for Robert L. May. As an employee of Montgomery Ward, he did not own the rights to the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It belonged to Montgomery Ward, and it soared in popularity year after year, more and more copies. I think a total of something like 7 or 8 million copies ultimately were distributed, and then it began to wane a little bit in its popularity. And about that time, the CEO and the head of Montgomery Ward decided to bestow the rights for the story back to its author, Robert L. May. So he received those rights, and just about the time that happened, a series of other incidents occurred that brought Rudolph back into immense popularity. One of those was something called a Victrola. Does anyone remember what a Victrola is? All right, this is a machine that you crank up. It has no electricity, and you can put recorded records onto it, and it'll play. And RCA Victor got the idea that maybe it would be time to revive the Rudolph story by putting it into a narration form onto this record. And it was an extremely good idea. It was extremely popular. In 1949, you see, this is what I love about life when we pull back and we're able to look at all events, not just the good times or the challenging times, but look at all events. It just so happens that Robert L. May's brother-in-law, Johnny Marks, decides to release a song based on the story of Rudolph. Most of us know the lyrics to that song. Not too many of us have actually read the full content of the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but I'll spare you that this morning just to say that it so happened that Johnny Marks was able to convince Gene Autry to record this song, but he did it on the back of another song as what they called a B product back then. So it wasn't expected to be that popular, but of course, as we all know, it soared into immense popularity, enough to where today it has become a classic Christmas song based on a classic Christmas tale. And then in 1964, an animated television special was created about Rudolph I remember that as a small child. And it is now considered to be the longest playing Christmas television special in all of history. All of this was a great resurgence in its popularity and brought tremendous income and blessings into Robert L. May's life. He went on to actually marry 2 other women. One was his wife for many years until she passed away. Then he married again. Altogether, he had 6 children, not just Barbara, the young one that he created the story of Rudolph for. So he had a very successful life, and he died in 1978 at the age of 71, a millionaire. So thank you, Robert L. May, for bringing this phenomenal tale into our awareness every Christmas season. What a beautiful idea, single idea that changed his life forever. And in many ways, it's changed mine. I was thinking this morning, when was the first time I delivered this talk, The Gospel According to Rudolph? And it came to me, it's been at least 21 years ago when I was the minister at Unity of the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach, Florida. I got this idea to engage the children and so forth and be able to tell the story and talk about what I feel is the core essence and the real value of this, what has now become a timeless tale. What's made it so popular? And I believe what's made it so popular is that it isn't just the story of Robert L. May as a small child. It isn't just the story of a reindeer with a red nose. I believe with all of my heart, my friends, it is your story and it is my story. I believe it is a part of the collective consciousness story of all humanity. So like is the case with any timeless tale, that's what we want to look at. And I specifically want to look at it this morning because I think it is far more than just a fictional tale about a little reindeer who had a tough time and finally became a hero. Now, just in case you don't know the details, and I find that hard to believe anyone would not know the details of Rudolph, but I'll give you just an overview. You know, he was the ugliest reindeer of all. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. The ugliest primarily because of this huge, unavoidable, red, shiny nose. All the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names, made fun of him, didn't give him very much self-esteem. Come Christmas Eve, Santa can't deliver the presents. Why? Because there's a fog that no one can see through. And I later discovered that Robert L. May actually based that as he was writing the story, looking out over Lake Michigan and observing that fog and thinking that would be quite an obstacle for Santa to overcome on Christmas Eve. Rudolph's controversial nose ends up saving the day. His controversial nose, the very object of all the condemnation, the criticism, and the ridicule that he took, actually became that which was able to allow Santa to fulfill his mission of delivering all the toys to the children that were waiting for them. So he really did become a hero in that regard. Let us learn from Rudolph that being different or being unique is nothing to be ashamed of. Now, I know we're all sitting in this Unity Church sacred space, and we would say, well, that's very true. There's nothing to be ashamed of. No shame, no guilt, just God. Amen? All right. So we get that, and yet, from the time we're very small children, we're dealt this word, and the word is conformity. Conformity. We're told almost from the moment we arrive on the planet that we must conform to what? To some external authority's idea of what we should be or how we should show up. And if I don't get anything else communicated in this room this morning, I pray that you hear this. You and I, and all people on this planet, we are not intended to be a mass of duplications. We try very hard to be like everybody else, and we try even harder sometimes to get other people to be like us. We want to confirm our positions in life by having others confirm them in our company. And yet I tell you, the greatest gift you'll ever be given will not conform to anybody or anything else except your own standard of perfection. And the sooner that we can realize that and step beyond this idea of what is truly actually a self-imposed limitation and realize it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be one of a kind. If we look up the word conformity, this is the definition that we get. to be similar or the same as something, to obey or agree with something, to do what other people do, to behave in a way that is accepted by most people. I go back to the 1990s, and a great therapist, author, speaker, counselor, Dr. John Bradshaw. Anybody familiar with the work of John Bradshaw? He did tremendous work in looking into what happens to us when we're growing up. And he has a theory that's called the brown bag theory, and I want to share it with you this morning because I kind of associate it a little bit with Santa's bag. Of course, that's full of gifts, but so is John Bradshaw's brown bag. He says that the day we arrive on the planet, we're given this brown bag, and we throw it over our shoulder. As we move through life, through childhood, through our teenage years, through our young adult years and beyond, we very quickly are able to realize that which is acceptable to other people and that which is not. The things that are acceptable, we gloat about, we shine about, we brag about, we love them. The things that are not so reputable, the things that are judged harshly by others, we quickly stash into this brown bag and pretend as though they're not even there. Well, you can only imagine that as we go through life, we're putting more and more stuff in this big brown bag, and we're carrying it over our shoulder. Now, there's this thing, I don't think it's very popular anymore, but it was with me a few years back. It's called a midlife crisis. Don't hear so much talk about that anymore, but it comes a point where I believe the weight of this bag is just too heavy, and we're trying to carry it along. We're trying to cooperate. We're trying to be accepted by everybody and everything outside of us. We're trying to accept ourselves. But in the meanwhile, we've stashed so much into this brown bag that we can barely carry it, and actually the bag can't even hold up. It bursts open, and all of these things, all of these qualities of our own are spilled out onto the floor before us. And it's not a very happy thing to experience because we put all of it away. We thought it was gone. We refused to accept it. But all the while, it's been back in this brown bag, hauled over our shoulder for years and years, and it's gotten decayed. It's taken a hit from having been neglected. And when it spills out, it doesn't look very pretty. And if we're fortunate at that point in our lives, we can begin to pick up these aspects of ourselves, these qualities of ourselves, and polish them up a bit. And maybe with a newfound sense of humility that we've never known the depth of before, we can begin to appreciate them. We can begin to set aside the opinions of other people that caused us to put these contents into this bag. And we can start to say, you know, right or wrong, good or bad, this is who I am. And maybe I'd be better off if I could just carry it with a sense at least of acceptance, if not celebration, as I move through the journey of my life. And prayerfully, we could ask that never again do we take any aspect of ourselves and declare it to be unworthy and declare it to be unfit and stash it away where we ourselves and others are not able to see it. I believe we've been running around on this planet for a long time trying to hide our authenticity and not stand boldly in the unique expressions that we are. Yes, we are all sons and daughters of the Most High, to be absolutely sure. More than that, we're completely unique and original designs. We're authentic designs. And it's such a rush to begin to live your life from that perspective, my friends. And when something comes up that you may find yourself judging, or you may find is judged by another person outside of you, just take a moment, take a pause, take a breath, and say, is there a way that I could see this differently? Is there a way that I could see this quality of myself, even those that have been most harshly judged by self or others, and begin to somehow acknowledge that it has value, that it plays a part in my life. And then if I'm able to coordinate all of these different qualities of myself into a single beautiful original expression. Now, it's not just happening on the personal level, my friends. It's happening on the level of the family of humanity. See, if we can do that for ourselves, if we can accept all aspects of ourselves, and it doesn't mean there won't be things we want to change or improve in some way, but if we can accept them, now we can move into life as whole people. And it feels really good to take the weight off your shoulder and live authentically as a whole person. It feels very good. Could we not do the same thing? And Duke, I just told you this morning, I love that prayer that you wrote, the peace prayer, because it gives us the opportunity to acknowledge that it is possible, not just internally from a holistic internal perspective, but externally as the family of humanity, to cease the seemingly endless call to get everybody to think the way that we think, to feel the way that we think, to believe the way that we think, and say, wait a minute, maybe if I could just back up here, not put those people, those external authorities into a brown bag somewhere and pretend they're not there, but really begin to open up and realize the family of humanity is the same as the internal ingredients of every one of us on this planet. And if we can acknowledge that and move into acceptance and celebration, we could have a totally different experience. That's how that peace prayer becomes a reality, a living reality in our lives, I believe, with all of my heart. Be all of who you are, without apology, without excuses. And let your uniqueness, let your big, red, shiny nose do just what it's intended to do, to shine. And let it lead. It can do this, my friends, one single idea. Again, let it lead the human race through the fog of all ignorance, through the fog of the belief that we all must be carbon copies of one another. This Christmas, if you want to celebrate, really celebrate the holiday, and I know we all do, don't just worship Jesus. You know, I often say it's the easiest thing in the world to get down on your knees and say, "Dear Jesus, I worship you and I love you," and it's not enough. Jesus never actually, asked us to worship him. You know what he asked us to do? Thank you. Be like him. Follow him. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. You have to come next week to hear that talk titled, Follow Me. But for now, don't just sing about his birth. Actually follow him. And to follow him is to do what? To realize Jesus was probably one of the most unconforming individuals that's ever been walking around on this planet. Just look at the people that he was hanging out with. They weren't exactly the most influential individuals in the neighborhood, They were thieves, they were prostitutes, they were individuals, I believe, that didn't have anything to lose. They didn't have a big, hefty investment in this material existence. So this guy comes along and says, here's a different way, follow me. And they did follow him. And they, I believe, also learned how to live more independent, original lives. Jesus was a one-of-a-kind expression of God. And so are you. And so is every other individual on the face of this planet. One of a kind. So can we acknowledge that for ourselves, and can we acknowledge it for others and really let others shine their light where their big, red, shiny nose in a unique and authentic manner? I believe that is beautiful. And by the way, the decorations in this room are stunning, are they not? I mean, what a beautiful environment. The decor, the gift giving, the gathering of families, all of these are precious qualities of the Christmas season. But if you really want this Christmas to be your best Christmas ever, live just like Jesus. What? But he was the only begotten Son. But he was of special dispensation. We believe in unity, that we all have that Christ quality within us. So we can live like Jesus. We can be divine. We can be authentic. We can be original. This morning I ask you, what is your red nose? What is your red nose? What is that quality that perhaps somewhere along the way you decided to stash away because of somebody else's rejection or someone else's inability to be able to praise and accept you exactly as you are? Can you find the courage this Christmas to say, I'm going to stand out. I'm going to be different. It takes some courage, doesn't it? I can ask you all that because you're sitting here in a Unity Church on a Sunday morning. And I know that the path that has brought you here has been a path of courage. So it's not like you don't have that quality and that you don't have a familiarity with how to work with it in your life. But can you bring it forth this Christmas in greater measure before? Because, my friends, every time we sacrifice our originality, we do pay a price. God doesn't need some idealistic image of who you are to make this planet work, to make this human family work. God needs what the world has judged most harshly in you. God needs that. That's the call of the Christmas season. So what's your red nose? Have you given this some thought? Can you find one thing that perhaps you haven't really been able to appreciate fully about yourself, that you haven't been able to completely celebrate about yourself? And you can decide for yourself that you're going to play it differently this Christmas season, that you're going to allow that quality to shine, that you're going to be like Rudolph, that you're going to lead the pack, that you're going to turn from perhaps what once was considered by you or others to be the ugliest manifestation in the world into the most brilliant, into the most beautiful, into the most amazing. What's your red nose? What's your red nose? And perhaps this morning you are saying, well, I don't really know that I have a red nose. But I'll tell you, if I can grab it out of my pocket here, we're going to give every one of you one of these big, shiny red noses as you depart today, with the belief and the understanding and the commitment that no matter what other people judge in you, no matter what they think about how different, peculiar, in our lingo, authentic you are, you'll no longer allow anybody or anything to hide you under a bushel. You'll never put another aspect or a dimension of the quality and the character of who you are into some big brown bag to carry around, acting as though it's not there and all the while allowing it to stand in your way. I'm going to close this morning with actual words, the closing words from Robert L. Mays. Again, timeless tale. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. That Rudolph, the ugliest deer of them all, Rudolph, the red-nosed, bashful and small, the funny-faced fellow they always called names and practically never allowed in their games, was now to be envied by all far and near, for no greater honor can come to a deer than riding with Santa and guiding his sleigh, the number one job on the number one day. God bless you and Merry Christmas. Wear your nose.
Now, as we continue to listen to the organ music, find a comfortable position in your chair. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment or two. And then as you exhale, feel your entire body becoming relaxed and a sense of peace coming over you. Just like that young child some 2,000 years ago, laying in the manger, totally at peace. Mother and father nearby. The great stars shining down upon him. totally at peace. Peace is one of our most natural dispositions. We're meant to be at peace. It truly is the greatest thing we desire. As we move into meditation, we approach the silence with a sense of eagerness, a sense of joy, because it's there where we feel at home. Life can sometimes be very chaotic, it can be confusing, it can have its ups and downs, its successes and failures. But it is life, and we're here to learn to adapt to it, to profit from it, to serve it, and to evolve it. So for a moment, I want you to imagine yourself driving down the interstate. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's rush hour traffic, very congested. It's very stressful. You see your turnoff up ahead. You don't know how you're going to get over into that lane to be able to exit. So you do it very slowly, very cautiously, and it feels very dangerous. You finally make it, you take a deep breath. You think, wow, I made it. That's life. Now think about driving down that same road, but this time it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The road is pretty much empty. There might be a car about a mile up the head or a mile behind you. It's very easy to drive. Now you see your turn off. You casually move over to the lane. It's one nice, peaceful movement. Well, no matter what's going on in our life, we always have the power. We always have the presence within us to find that peace under the most difficult of circumstances. It can be setback or loss that upsets you. It can be a relationship that went sour that disturbs you. It can be a person that left your life totally that you mourn over. But peace can be present in everything. Even be at peace when you're angry. It makes such a difference. So now move into the silence for a moment or two. Contemplate these words that I've just spoken. And find that sense of peace within you that is just unlike anything else you can experience in the silence. Slowly bring yourself back for meditation. You do so with a sense of easiness, a sense of simplicity, a sense of excitement, a sense of look forward to the day ahead. We dedicate ourselves to peace on this day. We go forth with a peaceful mind, being at peace with all the situations and circumstances in our lives. We go forth with a peaceful heart, being at peace with all the people in our world. And we go forth with a peaceful spirit, being at peace with ourselves exactly the way we are, and being at peace with the life we're living. Peaceful mind, peaceful heart, peaceful spirit, and so it is. Thank you. This is the time we express our gratitude for everything that we have going. And I am blessed by Unity Temple. I'm blessed by each and every one of you in the audience. I'm blessed by being able to be here on Sunday morning and share this time with you. I'm also blessed by Henry, who came all the way from Dartmouth College to share his special talents with us. Certainly blessed by Mike Jackson. Chris Jackson. Yeah. That's twice I've done that. I've called him Mike. And I'm also blessed by Kelly Hunt, who comes to us this second Sunday of every month. Our prosperity affirmation reads, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And I ask you to say that with me if you choose. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is.
Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, shine. This little light of mine, now I am gonna let it shine. Let it shine, all right, let it shine, oh, let it shine. I want to tell you that down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine, whoa, down in my heart. I'm gonna let it shine. Now don't you know that down in my heart, oh yes, I'm gonna let it shine now. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I wanna tell you that all over this world, come on, let it shine. Well, all over this world, oh, let's let it shine, 'cause we really need it now, all over our world. Oh, let's let it shine, oh, let it shine, let it shine. Come on, let it shine. Everybody, let it shine. All over the world, let it shine. Come on, let it shine. Clap your hands if you're gonna let it shine this morning. Well, shine, shine, shine. Oh, shine, shine, shine. We're gonna wear our red noses today. Shine, shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all right.
Kids, it's okay to come in. Come on.
We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light. We are walking. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking in the light of God.
Thanks for joining us today, kids. It's good. Boy, you got a lot of red noses, don't you? So please join with me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and all is well.